Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we're having a look at yet another wonderful mod, this time in the form of Crossbows of the Commonwealth, which is being made by user Tricky Vane. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is, well, one of these, a freaking crossbow. And that is awesome, and in fact makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, come on, we're in a post-apocalyptic wasteland here. It just makes sense that people would be running around with crossbows. In fact, in my mind, it makes a heck of a lot more sense than people running around with pipe rifles, but that's just my opinion on the matter. But yes, this glorious little crossbow that we have here is just oh so much fun, and quite an interesting weapon, as you can, of course, improve it with a whole slew of different weapon modifications, and what makes this really special, a whole lot of different ammo types. So you can create everything from the standard bolt, which is what I have in this thing right now if we load it up here, all the way to things like explosive bolts and even cryo bolts, which makes it very, very cool. Now, probably first thing we should talk about here is how you get a hold of one of these. I, of course, cheated this thing in with console commands, but if you were playing this in a non-cheaty manner, you would in fact find one of these crossbows on raiders out in the wasteland, as they may potentially be armed with them. It'll be added to the loot table, so you'll find them on random raiders scattered around, which is pretty cool in my opinion. You could find a raider shooting at you with one of these things. And that is both cool and a little bit scary, again, considering the different types of bolts you can shoot from these. Oh boy, I was actually shot out by a raider earlier who had a flaming crossbow, which is a little terrifying, I have to admit, but so much fun. Now, what's cool about these, of course, is you saw the reload animation when I brought this thing up. It uses the same as the laser musket, you know, the nice little crank. But what's really cool about these, if we just shoot at my target over here, these crossbow bolts actually do stick. As you can see, the crossbow bolt I just fired, as well as two of my test shots from earlier, they actually do stick into things, which is just so much more interesting than just, you know, a random bullet hole in someone. You can actually see your enemies with these sticking out of them, and that's just fun. So that is how, you know, the crossbow looks, how it fires, and of course, once again, to show the reload animation here, a nice little crank, and it comes out nice and good. So let us take a look at some of the crafting options. Now let's look over here at the chemistry station first, as this is how you make the different kinds of crossbow ammo. So you see we have a whole new category here for crossbow ammo, and how it works is it takes existing crossbow bolts, adhesive, and some random other element to create one of these different varieties of crossbow bolts. So we have here the armor-piercing bolt, which takes steel and, you know, makes it so this goes through enemy armor. We have the flaming bolt, which uses cloth and oil to, well, light your enemy on fire. The sawhead bolt, again using steel, but this one will cause your enemies to bleed over time, which is always fun. The hypodermic bolt, which also requires a rank in science, as you can see, as well as fertilizer, acid, and steel, and this will poison your enemy. The cryo bolt will, of course, do some freezing damage and potentially freeze your enemy, and does require some science, demolition expert, some nuclear materials, spring, and acid. We then have the oh-so-fun explosive bolt, which, well, goes boom, and requires fertilizer, oil, spring, and some demolition expert rank here. We then have the shock bolt, which will do energy damage, requiring nuclear material, spring, circuitry, the demolition perk, and science. And finally, the 45 encased bolt, which will do extra physical damage because it's got a bullet inside of the crossbow bolt, so it requires a 45 round, some rubber, and rank 4 of the gun nut perk. Now again, I've used the console commands to cheat in one of each of these, so we'll take a look at all of these ammo varieties momentarily. But first, let's go and take a look at, well, the weapon workbench, and take a look at all the crazy modifications. Now again, this is the basic crossbow. It's, you know, just a nice little wooden crossbow, basic sort of a front bow to it, basic crank, etc. Good times, very basic weapon, won't do a whole lot of damage, but it's silent, which I didn't mention earlier. It, of course, is a silent weapon. But once we go into weapon modifications and take a look at just this quick crossbow, we have a variety of different standard bows up at the front. So we have the standard one, you could put in a flaming one, which will take the flaming bolts, hunting versions, compound versions, flaming compound versions, and even a plasma induction bow, which is pretty darn impressive looking. Let's then move down to bolts. Now this is how you tell your crossbow what kind of ammo to use, which is a little bit finicky, so you actually have to make it so that your crossbow only takes this kind of ammo. So by default, they all start off with bolt ammo, but you can change it so that it takes the cryo bolt, explosive bolt, etc. But of course, you can't change this until you get to a weapon workbench. So if you're wanting to have a couple of different types of bolts on hand, you're also going to need a couple of different types of crossbows, because it actually changes the ammo type of it over here. That's how it deals with the multiple ammo types. So it could be a little bit strange later on. You could potentially have 3 or 4 crossbows on you to get the different bolts you want, which will weigh you down, but still, it's pretty fun and awesome. Okay, now next we have different stocks. We go from the short stock, a standard stock, a commando light frame, to a recoil light frame. All very good modifications to really change up the look and feel of the bow, as well as, of course, the accuracy. Now the next is the string that is on the bow. So we have the basic light string, a medium string, and a heavy string, and as you go from light to heavy, it will increase the damage but slow down the reload speed. Because of course it's a heavier string, which means it's going to take you a bit more time to pull it back, or of course, as is the case with these, crank it back. We then have the various sights which you can put onto it. Basically any sight that you can put on any other gun, from a reflex to a long scope, etc., you should be able to put onto your crossbow. So you've got a good variety in here, which is always cool. And then for the muzzle, we have a variety of really fun, well, basically, as you can see here, stirrups that you attach to the front, which add basically a bayonet. Everything from a basic foot stirrup, which adds a little bit of bashing damage, all the way to the poking stirrup, which is just a beast of a thing. It's just spikes coming out of everywhere on the muzzle, and it's very cool. We'll add a good amount of little melee damage to it, which is always fun. And as you can see here, I've played around with a couple of different bows. In fact, one bow, or crossbow rather, for each ammo type, with a variety of different modifications added onto each. This one's probably my favorite, this Marksman 45 crossbow. It's essentially an insanely powerful sniper rifle. As you can see, 125 damage with those 45 encased bolts, which is a bolt with a bullet in it, and who wouldn't want that? So let's go and take a look at the different ammo types now. Alright, so on my action bar here, for one, of course, is the basic bolt. We'll just fire this again, and boom, there we go. Right there in the tool sign, and oh, again, I just love the fact that these things stick into stuff. Now, on 2, I have the sawhead bolt, which, again, is a bolt that is useful for... Oh god, I gotta think about it here, I've forgotten. Ah, yes, it makes your target bleed. And of course, we also have the compound bow on the front of this thing. As you can see, the nice little gears up there. But yes, we got the cool scope, and hit that in. It looks pretty much like any of the others, but if it was shot at a fleshy target, they would in fact bleed. Though you can notice the fletchings on the back of the bolt are more angular rather than the rounded regular bolts that you can see right there, which is quite cool. Let's actually back up a little on that. So see, there you go. They're a lot more straight on the sawhead bolt than on the regular bolt, which is quite nice. Now, the next one we have is the armor-piercing bolt, which I put onto a recon scope for some reason. So let's crank this baby up, and you can see the fletchings on this one. They're still rounded, but the fletchings are a different color. They are blue. So if we shoot that, boom, and that would penetrate through some enemy armor quite nice. In fact, you can see that it went deeper than the other arrows, or bolts rather, which is quite cool, because again, it's armor piercing. It should do that. Now, the next we have here is the flaming bolt, which I kept very medieval looking, because, I mean, come on, who doesn't want a flaming crossbow? Very cool and medieval. So let's just line it up, and... boom, there we go. Just a nice fire that'll go towards the enemy and light them up. always fun. Now the next we have in line here is the hypodermic bolt, which again is the poison damage, so let's crank this baby up, and it has the green fletchings there, which is quite cool to let you know that it will poison them. Boom, nice right in there. The next we have is the the explosive bolt. Good times, and as you can see, that ain't no arrowhead on the front of that thing. It is a nice little bulbous explosive. And, oh, it's fun. Let's back up a bit, and... oh, God, that's the night vision scope. That was a bad move to put on that one. Fire! Boom. Oh, God, I love that little explosion. Okay, now the next one we... oh, God, I've actually forgotten where I was now. Hold on a moment. Let's actually use this command now. So we were on the... explosive, so I should be on, yes, this one now, the shock bolt. There we are. This one, of course, remember, does the electrical damage. Again, a more bulbous sort of head on the bolt there. And fire. There we go, doing some beautiful energy damage on there. Now, next on 8 is the 45 encased. Again, this is my favorite because it's just a really cool sniper one. Oh, yes, it would help to crank it. There we go. And fire. There you are. You see, you got the little bullet sound once it did hit. Let's fire that again because it's a little bit subtle, but very cool. So watch right on that point there. You should see a little flash, and that's the 45 round hitting the target and then going off. There we go. Very cool. You got a little puff of smoke and everything. Now, last but certainly not least is the cryo bolt. And this... again, it's a cryo bolt. It's going to freeze stuff. And very cool bolt. The whole thing nice and blue. The nice sort of bulbous head to it. And we got the glow sight. And actually, let's do it hip fire. Boom. Oh, that's just fun. So, all right. Let's actually show this in practice how I usually do by slaughtering my poor defenseless settlers. I'm sorry, but you're going to get hit by a cryo bolt. Oh, they're dead. Alright, let's go over to explosive bolt. Yes, that'll be good. I'm surprised they didn't get pissed off by that. I did just kill that poor sweet roll carrying scavenger. But oh well, perhaps with the explosive bolt we'll get a little bit more out of him. Though you did see that that guy did get killed in a single shot. So let's take a look at him. Oh god, I forgot the night vision. That did kill him. Alright, let's go to the 45 in case, because that is very highly damaging. Preston hated something, probably because I shot people, and take out that poor settler there. One shot should easily kill them. Did not. I'll be darned. Look at that. I would have really suspected it would. Wow, that person's tougher than I thought. This is supposed to be one of my most powerful. Alright, well, headshot should do. There we go. Beautiful. Let's go with... oh god, I forgot I'm not immortal right now. Let's hit Codsworth with that one, apparently. And then I think I'm poisoning Codsworth, which is not doing a whole lot of damage. But yes, that is how these crossbows work, which is pretty fun. Oh god, I went to the same one again. Flaming crossbow. Let's reload. Back away from them. Oh god. Oh god. Let's try not to die. I really forgot to turn on God mode here. And I've lit nothing on fire. Beautiful. Codsworth, take that. Woo, boy. But yes, that is the... that is the Crossbows of the Commonwealth mod. It is a whole lot of fun. You get a whole lot of good variety with these crossbows that is just awesome to play around with. Light them on fire. It would help if I didn't miss. But yeah, it's you got a lot of good modifications, a lot of fun with the different ammo types, and overall just a really cool mod that's just a fun weapon addition to the game. So if you would like, oh god, explosives, they have a rocket launcher. When did I give someone a rocket launcher? Oh lord. Okay, let's run away now. And yes, if you'd like to try out this mod for yourself, you can take a look at the link in the description as always. But yeah, that is going to be it for this episode. I hope you all have enjoyed, and of course that you do come back for the next. But until then, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one. Let's light the Brahmin on fire now. Oh, poor Brahmin. He disappeared. Okay. Later, folks.